everyone, and welcome to the second video on sketching log graphs. In this video, I'm just going to go through the sketching of these graphs considering transformations, okay? So the first one, sketch f of x equals negative log base 10 of x plus 2. So we need to know that this negative here is a reflection in the x-axis. We need to know that this plus 2 here translates 2 units to the left. Okay, proper way of saying that is translates 2 units in the negative direction of the x-axis. And then we can draw it. Now we know that normally the log graph looks like that. So if it's reflected in the x-axis, it's going to look like that. So I'm going to draw my x and y axes. This time the y-axis isn't an asymptote because the entire graph is translated 2 units to the left. So I know that my asymptote is at x equals negative 2, so I'll just draw it there. Now I should I think at this stage we can just kind of draw this. That being said, it's not a bad idea to go and figure out what x and y intercepts are going to be. But I would say that it's not really necessary at this stage. What's most important is that you're getting the general shape of the graph. And so, oops. We should get something like that. So that's about it, really. I probably haven't quite drawn that to scale because, technically the x-intercept should be negative 1. But, yeah. So the next question, find the inverse of g of x equals 4 to the negative 2x plus 5, and hence sketch g of x and inverse g of x on the same set of axes. Righto. So first things first, we need to find the inverse. So I'll say for the inverse, swap x and y. That means x equals 4 to the power of negative 2y plus 5. So I need to rearrange this to get y by itself now. So I'm going to take away 5. I'm going to take log base 4 of both sides. And then I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. And so therefore, the inverse of g is equal to negative half log base 4 of x take 5. So, well, again, we've got a reflection in the x-axis. We have a dilation by a factor of half from the x-axis, so that's going to make the graph a bit flatter than usual. And the graph is also translated 5 units in the positive direction of the x-axis. So, I can draw both of these now. Apologies about the flashing screen as well. Okay. So, the first equation, 4 to the negative 2x plus 5, well, there's the 5 there. So dealing with the exponential graph to begin with, also label y-axis. So because it's 4 to the power of negative 2x, that means it's reflected in the y-axis. And so, oops. what it should look like roughly. The +5 moved the graph up 5 units. So that one there is g of x. The other one is the logarithmic equation. This is translated 5 units to the right. I should label these asymptotes, by the way. So that one there was y equals 5. This one here is x equals 5. And this is a negative log, so it's reflected in the x-axis. And so it should look something like that. So there we have it. There's the two graphs on the one set of axes. I'll label this one here inverse g of x. And again, you can see that one is just a reflection of the other in the line y equals x. Anyway, I'll leave the video there. See you next time.